Hey everybody, how you doing? You know what time it is. I know what time it is. That's right. We all know what time it is. It's time for Syntax Live. I hope you guys are doing better than I am feeling right now. I'm a little wore out from the day, but hopefully we're doing good. Let me know if the microphone isn't coming in or anything like that, and let's get going. First things first, for all you know what that means. Pop it up here, and let's get to it. And see, the usual contenders are in the chat box, so let's go in. As you can see, that's not the hard stuff tonight. You guys had me going last week, and that's not going to be a common practice, guys. Apparently, as I talked to some family members, the scotch does not sit with our bloodline very well. I'm not sitting here like that really bad actor saying scotch, 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 down the hatch and all that other crap. So can't do that. Ain't doing that for a while. It left a couple days of me not feeling so hot. So aside from that, I'm going to jump directly into what we've been doing so far as the channel's been going. There's not been a whole lot as far as comments, but I've been kind of laxed up. I've been hitting a little bit of burnout lately, but I will be talking about that later, and somebody actually helped me out, and hopefully he's not in the chat yet, but hopefully he shows up. First off, you guys were talking on Here There Be Giants on that story. You guys make me laugh sometimes because, let's face it, somebody that big, you're right, they would be afraid of house cats. I mean, just pure and simple. That I didn't even think about that until you said it, and then I was like, oh my God, you freaking genius. But I had totally forgot that "Here there be dragons" was an old phrase. All I know is "Here there be," and people have used that a lot. So thank you for reminding me that there was the original phrase. Like I said, not many comments on that. The human harem. Hopefully that didn't toss you too much, guys, because at least with the title was supposed to be slightly misleading. Like it's a harem of humans, even though the picture didn't look that way. Hopefully that kind of grabs some folks. A little bit of clickbait. I'm not above clickbait, guys. Sorry. But is what it is. But I will say there was a very spirited debate in the comments section for a little bit, and most of you were actually dead nuts on that one. Slaves are cheaper than AI in that universe. Pure and simple. If you can go for, $50 or 50 credits and go buy your next slave, and it costs you $50,000 for an AI robot, and you can go, for 1,000 days get a new slave for that amount of money. What the hell? Why would you care about the robot that you have to constantly maintain? It's just the way it is. You guys were 100% right on that. But I do have to mention something. I left it in the subtext on that, was the fact that in that universe, our reputation as humans has actually got ahead of us. It precedes us. And that's why out of that combined fleet that was facing them, which was, if you listen to the numbers, it was 24 ships in total, saw a single human destroyer and said, nope, not fucking with it. They know not to fuck with our boats. They're smart enough to know that one. So, all right, let's see. The next one that came down was the unnatural demand. Folks, I wanted to see if I could still do a video completely off the cuff. There is absolutely no notes for that story, and I just wanted to hit that sucker and see if I could still do it. It came up a little shorter. It wasn't monetized, so hopefully it didn't hit any commercials for you guys and you enjoyed it. You were right, not the normal story I do. I wanted to, again, see if I could shift around. I don't want to give you guys cookie cutter crap, because if you want a cookie cutter crap, just go to the AI stations and you guys can listen to cookie cutter crap all day, because that's all it is. I can't go a day without on the side of my feed in YouTube seeing another one of these. I saved an alien princess, or my alien buddy gave me his sister or something. It's just over. I'm like, come on, guys. How many times can you do the same story over and over again? Apparently a lot with AI, but it is what it is. Apparently the lingerie line, or lingerie as I like to put it, because there's always going to be miscommunications, kind of threw a couple people for a loop, and I hope you guys found it funny. Because trust me, when they looked up pictures, lingerie, I guarantee they weren't just seeing clothing. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge, schnook, schnook, snoo, snoo on that. So, yeah, fun. Okay, here's something I had forgot. Okay, when they were talking about how soft something is, hold on. Speaking of somebody who's not too soft, we got an MTF guard here with a $10 super chat. Let me write these down real quick. MTF guard. And he says, pow, weekly paycheck. And this should get me my shout out. Yes, it will. And great news, though. I got about a month and a half before my goats have their babies. Oh, cool. And even better news, they are all excellent. They're dropping twins. Oh, hey, as long as you don't get a free Martin, that should be great. As far as around here, I'm going to be going into it. We have another season that's starting here actually right now. But yeah, birthing season, anybody's got a farm. This is a big deal, especially if you can get twins. That's a big, big deal. Hopefully you get a lot more of the females because I know they sell better. But yeah, thank you very much, Guard, and have a good one. Sounds like you're going to have a good year. Let's hope you are, and we can go into chickens and eggs and stuff like that later because that's going to be affecting everybody this year. But I'm going to back up, beep, 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 backing up here. On the unnatural demand one, somebody put in the comment section, I had totally forgot about this, an old Eddie Murphy skit. Oh, that's soft. Is that velvet? I had totally 100% forgot about it. When you mentioned it, you guys, I swear, if I got all of us together, we would create probably the best goddamn story with so many references. People would think it's a Family Guy episode, but instead of just being a cartoon, it would actually be a continuous story that people would want to watch for a few hours. I totally missed it. Passed ahead. Or what does they say on Jeff Dunham? Right over. Somebody mentioned that the way the tall whites look are Nordic. That's commonplace. I had to use that because I wanted to pull something out of what we have now to work with. And the grays have been used a bit too much. And let's face it, everybody talks about reptilians, and the first thing is they want to eat us. And not in a fun way. So, yeah. There's also somebody... Okay, I had to do it. I was thinking of a name, and I just wanted a very old name. And yes, Shakespeare came up. Desdemona from Macbeth. And for those who didn't actually study in high school, anybody who's my age watched the Gargoyles cartoon, and they called her Demona, which was just abbreviated name. So yes, hopefully that gave somebody a smile besides the one person who dropped it in the comments. So again, and by the way, if there's a joke that fails, like face plants, like crashes and burns and explodes, atomizes, please let me know so I can never do it again. Because I like putting a little bit of, slide a little something in there. And if something was exceptionally funny, you also got to let me know so I can, push it a little. Well, I won't push the envelope too far. That would kill a joke. All right. The one that dropped today, standard human units. Yeah, there's actually a whole thing in there. Which type of unit are they talking about? Are they talking about the same unit? Are they talking about different units? Who has this mentality? It is what I could have gone for a whole thing on that, but the problem is I couldn't mention anybody by name because certain people would take offense thinking I'm attacking them personally, and I'm not. I attack their chain of command because sometimes they're assholes, but it is what it is. Yes, it's been more than 5 minutes, so I can finally curse at people. Now, somebody put in the comments section a story idea. And they said, well, what if the Doc and the LT become a Dust One, as in they get taken? That's interesting. And so they're going to sit around and go, so kill everybody? Okay, I can do that. Speaking of story ideas, somebody, Chris, if he's in here, I don't quite see him in the chat, but he sent a story idea, which may or may not be coming out very soon. I will say this. If you guys have any story ideas you want to send in, email is down. Keep looking down. Watch. I just saw you looking. Erica, I saw you looking down there. Anyways, sorry. It was too easy a shot. But regardless, I put my email address down there. Go ahead and send your story idea. It's happened before. Guardian sent his. Now, just remember, I'm going to have to tweak them a little bit because as I go through, and by the way, I was chuckling while I was reading this, and you'll find out why later. But there wasn't much I had to do to this one. There was like one or two small sections and a little bit at the end. That's all I had to do. This was really good. And I'm not going to ruin anything else about it. But Chris, who also goes by Prozac and Pancakes, thank you. I appreciate it. That actually saved me a night's work. Well, granted, I still spent like 2 hours going over making sure my notes are right. But yeah. All right. The next thing that dropped in the comments is people asking for part 2 of certain ones, in particular, the package and Pirates Ye Be Warned. Till the end of this month, which is in another 2 days, I am doing only one-offs. After this month is over, starting next month is nothing but series. Okay, you guys keep bugging me about series, and I'm going to keep going. Yes, I will be going over depending on how long it takes for me to get through each one, and I got a whole stack of them. Hold on, I'm trying to reach them. Come here, you bastard. Can't get my hands around it. Anyway, I got a whole stack of them literally stack of them right here. Everything from unwanted species to ambush predators. I mean, they're in here. And yes, the isekai is in here. And, they call us monsters, all that. I will be going over. And again, depending on how many chapters, I'll probably hit 3 or 4 of these through the next month. So if you got any story ideas for the month after, let me know. I'll download them. I'll print them. I'll go over them because I do better with stuff right in front of me. And I will absolutely be giving you credit for what you did. Like I said, Guardian Sage, his was pretty easy because he mentions Guardians and he mentions Sages so many times. Yeah. Anyways, let's see. So, yeah, extensions will be done. When I get down into this stack, I'll start going through other ones to see what ones need to be done. Now, remember, it's based on views, folks. They're the ones that get priority. Speaking of which, one that will be getting priority next month is Death Orbs. If you haven't listened to that one yet, there's only 2 parts. It's actually should have kept going for another 2. So, just like Zathra says, and we're here. And yes, for next month, those are going to be all months. I already talked about the story ideas. Okay, I've seen I was getting ready, the chat box filling up, and I don't see him in there yet. Everybody's hoping that Sir is doing well. I am too, because as lit up like a Christmas tree as I was last night, that shit sobered me up quick. And yeah, that shit's not cool, folks. Let's raise a glass to let's hope his health turns in the better direction. So, yeah, that's no friggin' joke. All right. As I was saying about Guard and his season, as far as, his goats having their kids, and they are called kids, by the way, then it's another season over here in the northeast of the U.S., and that's maple syrup season. Now, it's looking to be a very, 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 very strange season so far. It seems you need sun and you need heat. And it seems like every time we got a warm day, there is no sun. And you got to get the sap to actually rise up through the tree to actually get a hold of it. So we'll see how that goes. I'll let you guys know if it was a bad season up here, because a couple years back, we had a really bad strawberry harvest and everybody was feeling that shit around the world. If it hurts for maple syrup as well, you're going to find a lot of other products are getting extremely expensive. By the way, the fake syrups like Log Cabin and Aunt Jemima are straight corn syrup. If you like your health at all, stay away from that crap. But one of you guys recommended a common item here on this planet that can only be produced on this planet as an aphrodisiac. And all I could think of was, let me think. You got to figure there's a few things that couldn't be transferred over. Could you find a biome exactly what you need to get sap to run with maple trees? Because there's only certain conditions that'll actually get the sap to run. Could you get the right type of climate for bees and the type of bees that aren't going to fucking kill you? Because Africanized bees, i.e. killer bees, will actually kill you if you sneeze too loud. I'm not even kidding. You can be right next to their hive, have a sneezing fit, and they're all over you like flies on a manure pit. I mean, they are just everywhere, and they are desperately trying to get through your suit. Anybody I know who's ever worked with them, they actually wear sweat clothes underneath their bee suit, and it is just wow. They'll actually sit there and show pictures of nothing but stingers sticking up through the suit as they tried desperately to get through. They're like, well, if I wasn't wearing a sweatshirt, it would have gone straight into my skin. I don't feel like going into shock today. Thank you. But it's a good idea. It sounds like it could be a really funny story. Not to mention that plays into another story we had last week where somebody got something smuggled into the station. And you all know how that went. So really, really quick through my notes today because, again, I've been kind of falling behind. Again, I'm getting a little bit of burnout trying to dig stories. But, again, when he gets into here, Chris, once Mr. Prozac and Pancakes gets here, we can talk a little bit more about this. Besides, I just need to talk to him a little bit if he gets here tonight. So let me move up here to the chat box, and we'll see how things are going. Now, I do find it interesting that most of the drones stuff has calmed down. I don't know if people are reporting it less or if it's actually calmed down. It could go either way because we've had those big fires over there in the Western U.S. There was an earthquake, I think, in Japan or something like that. There was a few other big fires over in Europe. Unfortunately, I don't get a lot of the news here because a lot of the news we get over here is filtered. Thank you, you self-righteous pricks, for filtering what we should actually know. So it is what it is. Let's see. As Doug's here, Alan's here. War Sniper, Mr. Konsune Lover is here. Yeah, I guarantee as soon as I mentioned that a certain one would be the Issei cow would keep going, he was all of a sudden getting his fox ears perked out. Or sorry, no, his lizard ears perked out, Mr. I want to be the dragon guy. Yes, I do remember. But by the way, your stuff for some reason isn't fully coming through. If you sent anything recently, I haven't got it. I've gotten older stuff. I haven't got anything recent. Erica's trying to finish dinner. Okay, hopefully I didn't make you laugh or spit anything out. There's Doug asking about Sir. We don't know. If he jumps in, we'll find out. And sorry, I was actually loading the wood stove up, and I just realized I got a splinter in my finger. Let's see. Demons getting ready for work. Oh, fun. Yeah, even Doug said that. Fun. Yeah, that's definitely another thing. Fun. Yeah. Let's see. Demons. Okay, he's commenting on that. Everyone's talking about Sir. Yeah, Erica. As far as Bite Me sending, I just went through my emails with a fine-tooth comb, and I found that today it was buried that Bite Me had sent me and told me to forward it to you. And that's why you just got today. So Bite Me, don't take it personal. That's kind of on me. Let's see. Got your email and we'll send it. Okay, yeah. These guys are exchanging recipes for cheesecake. You know, the stuff that makes most of us sit there and just go, oh. all. Like either we just let go of a giant shit, or we just had one of the most relaxing orgasms ever. You ever see somebody just take cheesecake and I just got a couple homo suspicions points doing that, but you get my idea. Let's see. Those says the one thing you can do with the PT boat story is hit the enemy carriers while they're reloading and have sub stealth boats shoot them at the same time. Okay. PT boats. I'm just writing this down so because I don't know if I saw it in my email. Again, I'm going to start compiling them all. But yeah, I did something close to PT boats, but it was not it wasn't the whole story. It was only in one chapter. I'm trying to remember. It was in a full series where stealth was a big part of it. And the smaller vessels had to be very, as we put it, very sneaky. Let's see. Demon saying, I would comment more on your videos, but YouTube always deletes 99% of them. Live streams, yes, no problem. Comments, no matter what the comment is, they don't know what I did. I don't know what I did to YouTube to get mad at me. They can just be mad. It's just, it is what it is sometimes. Sometimes YouTube will do that. They're still dropping subscribers off of me. I could, for like a week and a half, I did videos every single day, and I was still dropping subscribers, even though I went in the analyticals, and it's all it said was people subscribing. But it's like, as one subscribed, two dropped off. I was like, what the flying fuck knuckles is going on? It didn't make any sense. I don't know. As everybody I know who makes content on YouTube, and primarily YouTube alone, is being quote unquote capped, is what I'm being told it's called, where they're limiting the amount of subscribers, but you still get a bunch of views, which doesn't make sense. You'll get the same amount of views, but with less subscribers. Oh, wait, that saves the money. Me even saying this is probably going to make him pissed off again, make me lose more. So, Bite Me says, his comments deleted too. The AI hates lots of things. Damn YouTube overlords. Well, one of them ain't breathing anymore, so we'll see how that goes. Let's see, Demon says, can't even just say, wow, love the story. Can't wait for the next one. And it deleted. Really? That's what that did? Holy shit. I do everything to tiptoe around everything they can dislike, and they'll still. Wow. Yeah, I don't know what the hell is going on with that demon. I am at a complete loss. And Doug says, like what happened at Midway. Okay. I'm going to put that down here. Now, I can't call it that because I've already used that for a series, which it was okay. I could have done better. Unfortunately, I don't know what. My brain just went away from me for a while, and it is what it is. Okay, Demon says, not that I'm happy they block people, but I'm glad it's not just me. Yeah. Bite Me jumps in and says, I get those damn AI generated HFY stories constantly. They've taken over the infidelity stories too. Yeah. A lot of those channels, if you get an AI voice, it's gotten to the point, if I hear an AI voice, I just turn it off. I find something else, anything. It's crazy. And it's one of the reasons why the new music, which actually is designed by AI, sucks so bad. It sucks so bad. It sucks the sweat off a dead man's balls. That's how much it sucks, because it's just terrible. There's no passion in it. No one actually gives a fuck about what they're singing. There's no singer-songwriters anymore. When there were, they put so much passion in what they did that you couldn't help but like it. I was just explaining to my dad when I took him to dinner earlier that you got young kids sitting in like an Applebee's or a Chili's or whatever it might be, and they're playing the 70s, 80s, and 90s music, and they're, oh, this is pretty good. What is this? And they do that little program on their phone where they can actually say, what's this song? And they just hold it up and it just finds it. They're like, oh, okay. Well, what else have they done? Well, there you go. And suddenly people are downloading more of the older stuff than the newer stuff because the newer stuff breaks the laws of physics. We all know that. It sucks and blows at the same time. It's like, honestly, I tried listening to what's her name, Swifty Swift, and all I can say is no. You can enjoy it all you want. Me personally, it's a hard no. I don't like any of that. Hell, I didn't even like the Spice Girls when I was a kid. And let's face it, they're singers that needed backup singers. They were so bad at their job. None of them played an instrument. So, yeah, think about that one. Oh, Deathbed's here. Cool. Howdy. Hopefully that's just an odd thing there, question, the deathbed part, because we already have one person we're worried about. Hopefully we don't have two. So let's see. Alan says, don't worry, we will let you we will let you know and probably laugh over. Okay. Yeah, he's gonna let me know what jokes land and what ones crash and burn. And just burn hard. Okay. Demon says, my favorite AI that I see all the time but will never watch is Galactic Empire. Is the Galactic Empire blah, 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 until humans blah, blah, blah. Like they can't even get it in a title. Yeah, it's always, they're copying. I did a story a long time ago, literally called Humans Are Nice Until They're Not. And it was, I'm not going to really spoil anything, even though it's one of the older ones. You'll know because there's kind of a space station there with no actual background. And it's got like little fighters coming out of it, or a carrier with fighters coming out of it. And yeah, it's all, hey, we don't want to cause any trouble, but when it's time to cause trouble, play it to the bone, motherfucker. Let's see. War Sniper says, going over. Foxy. Okay. Guardian Sage, always here. Greeting, mortals and other assorted beings. Every time I do that, I keep thinking the Muppet Show guys. They always just seem to get this creepy vibe as I was a kid. I don't know, but I was really, really young when that came out. I didn't understand it was supposed to be a joke. Okay, Demon says, how's the fleet, Sin? I'm kidding, man. I know that you're busy and a lot of crap to give you. Just messing with me. Hey, you know what? I haven't even touched it in a couple of days. Let me it says Demon Fleet. I think I figured out something to throw in there, and I just see a bright color jump up. Holy flying donkey shit. Okay. We got ourselves a $50 super sticker, or super is that animation? Because it's super effective. You know that means victory, right? And I kind of wish right now I had that little button right here to switch over to Garth and Wayne going, we're not worthy. We're not worthy. I do appreciate that, Demon. I really, really do. Again, like I said before, guys, I'm not going to beg for it, but I ain't turning it down either. So thank you. Thank you so much, Demon and Guard and everybody else who is going to chat or super tonight. I very much appreciate it. And you keep the channel going. I actually paid for a couple of movies for my dad to watch too. Anyways. Oh, Erica's jumping in with a $5 super animation. She's saying, hiya. Okay, I definitely got a homo suspicion point for that one. But Erica is over here just kind of being a gem. And I appreciate that. You and Demon and Guard and everybody else, thank you so much. I do appreciate it. And, I would say keep it coming, but I know you guys got bills too. And with the way the economy's going, it's freaking nuts. Speaking of which, guys, the whole thing with the bird flu, don't be surprised if when eggs go up even higher, which they will, because they're killing off entire laying hen flocks. And a certain someone, Guard, can tell you, since he works on a farm, you can't just sit there like on a video game, spawn some chickens, and 2 seconds later you have eggs. No, you have to make sure that the egg is fertilized, and you have to sit there and make sure it's warm and hatch the son of a bitch. Then you got to raise it for about 6 to 8 weeks before it even starts to even consider giving eggs. Usually it's about somewhere between 2 months and 3 months. They start giving eggs very sporadically. By the end of 3 months, if you're doing it right, it should be every day. But still, it's just one of those things. You got to remember there's eggs in a lot of things. All your baked goods, your breads, pancakes, stuff like that, there's bread or eggs in there. You need that. Egg noodles for all you people who eat Chinese food, there's eggs in that. Shocker. Don't be surprised if that just goes up like crazy. And then they're going to say, somebody's going to try saying something, well, eggs aren't that good for you. Bullshit. It's been proven so many times that eggs are some of the best things you can eat. It's not even funny. So that's what I was saying before about I was going to hit on it, but I was going to get through more of the chats, but I figured now is the best time as ever. If you know how to preserve your eggs, feel free to do it. Don't let me stop you. Let's see who's here. Guard. Oh yeah, people. I just now discovered that between us. Oh, beneath. What's it? Just now discovered that beneath us piss off bees too. Yeah, people just now discovering that. Okay, you sent that twice. Yeah. Oh, by the way, if you're around bees or a beehive, just do yourself a favor. Never walk in front of it. You can walk all the way around the other side and literally put your hand on it. Nothing's going to happen. You walk in front, you better be running is what you should be doing, because those guards are coming straight towards you. Guardian Sage saying, if you need to slow down, please do. Your health is important. Yeah, I would like to slow down, but the channel needs work too. Oh, Grog's here. He finally made it to the live. Yay! Everybody say hi, Grog. And of course, every time I hear Grog, I keep thinking of the Grog from like the Navy ships, the merchant marine ships and whatnot. And people, again, don't understand that when you did that, all it was alcohol poured into the water, just enough to kill bacteria. It wasn't meant to get you drunk. It was just meant to keep you alive. And why'd they use rum? More often than not, because it was cheap. It was easy to make. It was easy to get a hold of. Once the Caribbean trade went on, rum was extremely cheap, especially compared to other things like vodka, which is actually a lot harder to make. Well, I shouldn't say harder. It takes longer. Let's see. Ernest is here. He's late, but he's here now. And Warsniper says, I didn't send anything. Did I supposed to send something? Oh, no. You remember you sent the whole thing with your Kitsune, your 4 Kitsunes and your dragon guy, as I was talking about. Grog says, story ID. Oh, yeah, you're the one. I actually had, you weren't here earlier. I brought that up. It's actually right here. I'm going to put a big arrow next to it. Oh, if I can draw an arrow sideways. Right there. We talked about it. Story idea where they lose the doc and the LT. And like I said before, they go, so let's just kill everybody then. But the Xenos in the platoon are going to be like, what's wrong with these humans? Why are they just killing everything? Guardian says, fun. Till your dad takes, fun. Till your daddy takes the T-Bird away. Or fun in the sun. Yeah. Let's see. Guard also says, the fact that Sin is still alive after listening to Ice Spice and Taylor Swift amazes me. My ears were bleeding. Besides, when I was in Iraq, one of our interpreters would literally put the first song Britney Spears ever sang, and he would blast that thing for like 6 hours on repeat and never got tired of it. I'm just like, my head hurts. My head hurts. But what my head doesn't hurt with is we got a $20 super chat from Grog. Now, I'm saying, am I saying this right? Vaughn? You're going to have to let me know if that's right. Is it Vaughn or Voan? Because I've actually had that bite me in the ass before. And I'll make sure I say it right, unless you want to be like Chris, who wants me to use Prozac and pancakes. And he actually sent it again. Story idea. You know what? I'm gonna put a big old thing on my notes to make sure that goes in there. So yeah, thank you very much, Grog. I very, very much appreciate it. Also, if you have a particular type of image you want me to throw on there when you get your shout outs this week, you gotta let me know. Either that or I'm just gonna grab some random shit, and I don't know if it's gonna suit you. I'd rather get something that suits you guys. Like Brian, he actually sent me the image that I keep using. Guard said he likes stuff with an exosuit or a big robot or whatnot. So that's what I use. Of course, demons, that's pretty easy to do. Guardian Sage, as you can see, I use things like Skeletor and Obi-Wan and things like that. So you guys got to make sure you let me know. That way, because, you guys are helping me out. So at least I can do is give you a proper thank you. Okay, let me go back up here. Let's see. Ernest was saying most of my posts are charged when I hit the post button lately. Really? Sure you're not changed? That's weird. Let's see. Demon says, speaking of AI, in the AI civilization has been on pause. Just been almost no free time. It happens. Working overtime so much, the little free time I have is taking up my chores and whatnot. I'll finish it one day. Well, it's better to take your time and make a quality product. Pure and simple. It's always better that way. Very few people can either naturally just come up with something off their hip or can write something down and just tweak it a little bit. Me, I had to be taught a little bit. Did I have a natural talent? Yes, but it had to be nurtured. I couldn't write nearly as well as I could today when I was younger, but I did show talent, which unfortunately, just like everybody else who shows natural talent in the public school system, they want to crush it. They want to destroy it. They want to burn it down. And all I can say is suck my nuts, bitches. Okay. On to the next ones. Guardian Sage. The interesting thing, I don't think that any Christian or gospel music has yet made it with AI. Give it time. Guards right here saying literally everybody after hearing Sin say hiya, it sounds like it's Swiss. I am not one of the what the hell was that in conspicuously gay duo or something. I forget. I'm trying to remember it. Somebody made a joke about that a long time ago. They even put the Street Fighters, Ken and Ryu on there. And it was only like a 30-second thing. And I almost peed myself laughing. Let's see. Guard's also saying, my chickens are not producing any due to the fact that their numbers have been decimated by hawks and foxes. Yeah, I actually have to enclose mine with a net. Not to mention, I'm pretty sure all the chickens I got from the last batch are duds. All right. For that one in particular, Guard, one, check the feed. If you got it anywhere from a big store, like around here, we have Tractor Supply, I will never use their feed again. They did something to it, and all the chickens just stop laying. On that, when it comes to that, try changing the food out. Like give them like one day is a whole bunch of scratch and maybe some bread or something that you're not going to eat, and see if they start producing. If that's the case, you got bad feed. You also got the fact it's wintertime. They don't produce a lot when it's cold. Now with the hawks and foxes, I can't do much about that except say set some traps and shoot the goddamn things, because let's face it, when they're scared, they're not going to produce either. It's like when somebody's so scared they can't even go take a shit. I mean, it's just the way it is. It slows them down. But yeah, try that, and if it doesn't work, all I can say is get new birds. I'm getting new birds in like 3 months anyway. Let's see. Demon says, if you're interested, I can send you a fantasy empire I created years ago. Bring it on. It even had a map. I plan to sending it to you after the AI thing. But to be honest, the fantasy thing is far closer to finished. Hey, like I said, after this month is over and I'm focusing on all the series, all your one-off stories that you guys want to send, I'm going to collect them all. And that's going to be March is going to start kicking those off. Let's see. Guard comes back and says, oh, yeah, fun fact. The biggest reason why there's such a big shortage with chicken eggs and just chicken in general, it's because of our fearless administration literally decimating their numbers. Yeah, I don't know if you guys heard, but over in England, they'll actually walk up with a van. People walk out in full hazmat suits with this tank on their back, and they will actually gas your chickens with poison. Guess what? That poison doesn't just disappear, doesn't just dissipate. It's actual poison. And I still remember the video of some old lady going out there with a freaking cricket bat, and she didn't even say anything till she started wailing on one of these guys. Oh, I'm just doing my job, just doing my job. Hey, get off my property, you motherfucker. I mean, it was one of the funniest damn things I've seen. The problem is they memory hold it because shocking no one, they don't want people to know that they can actually fight back successfully. Now, as far as other areas of the world, I don't know what's going on there, but I do know here in the U.S., if one chicken comes up with a case of the bird flu, even if they're unsymptomatic, even if the fact that these tests have been known to show false positives constantly, then you have to get rid of every single bird within a certain radius. And we're talking sometimes tens of thousands of these freaking birds. You can't eat them. You can't sell them. You just have to kill them, bury them. That's all you can do. That's all you're allowed to do. And all I can say is, lick my nuts. I know this. Somebody tries to come on my property and tries to end my birds, they're going to end up with double-aught buckshot in their ass and their back and their face and everywhere else I feel like putting it. And then I'll follow it up with a couple of 45s. You know, I know that's saying something about violence, but I'm irritated. I'm extremely irritated that they would do something so egregious. And then they're going to start claiming, well, there's not enough food. Well, gee, I wonder why, dumbass. Okay, Douglas says, don't get close to a fire anthill for that matter. Wonder how aliens react to fire. Oh, god damn, that's okay. Aliens, fire ants. I'm going to put bullet ants down here too. Because I just saw one, apparently a special forces guy actually let a bullet ant sting him on his arm, and he just about cried like a little girl. I'm like, yeah, everybody I know has been stung by those says it hurts like hell, except for two guys. They actually do have video. He's like, I'm down here in, I won't mention the country. And he's like, that's a bullet ant on my arm. This is supposed to hurt. Why doesn't this hurt? Here's a second one. That's supposed to hurt. Why doesn't that hurt? Come to find out, they're immune. They're one of very few people that are actually immune. Just like I've seen people walk in the CS chamber without a gas mask on, and they just walk through it like it's nothing. They're just immune to it. It's not a big deal. Grog says, Dad was a huge DC comic fan. Speaking of comics, I do have to say this. I didn't know Creature Commandos actually started as a comic. I just remembered it being a cartoon when I was a little kid, and now it's this gruesome, in-your-face, holy crap, they're dealing with subjects that are absolutely crazy, but in a fun way. I like the show, and it actually stays pretty close to the original, which thankfully they do that. I'd still like to get my character in there if they get another season. But it's going to be a very on-again, off-again character, and I just want to do the one, even if I can do the voice, that would be great. Just so when Dr. Phosphorus says, so you can fix me? I've read your file, Doc. I got to fix you from the inside. You want me to shove my fist up your ass? Because I'll do that. That's the only way I'll do that. Is basically if he reads the file and you're a good person, then he'll actually fix you. But if he knows you're an asshole, he won't. He'll take the pain from the shock. That's kind of the point of the character. But that's after they catch him. Anyway, Erica puts into Grog, says, not the LT that everybody likes, double damage for the butter bar. Well, it's kind of difficult to find an LT anyone likes. For the main reason is if they come from any, and I do mean any, of the academies around here, that's West Point, Annapolis, or whatever the hell they call the Air Force Academy over there in Colorado Springs, they are some of the most self-righteous, ball juggling, knee pad wearing, won't even give you a reach around while they fuck you pieces of shit I've ever seen in my life. These all they care about is their career. They couldn't care about the men. They couldn't care about the training. And they'll siphon off the training budget in a fucking heartbeat if that's what makes them look good. You know what? Kiss my ass. Ugh. I've known one West Pointer that was actually really good because he stayed in his lane and he shut the fuck up. And when it came time to do his job, he focused on that. And if he had any issues, he asked the platoon sergeant. He ironed everything out and did his job. That was what he was supposed to do. Why can't we get others to do that? I don't know why. Oh, so many of those folks. Wow. It's like dealing with Rangers in my unit. And I'm not even in a Ranger unit. They come to the unit and they are just toxic. They will destroy a unit because I'm so much better and I'm protected by the chain of command. Fuck off. Just go away. Just get away. I will do the paperwork. Just get the hell out of my sight. Ugh. It's the arrogance, people. And like they said in even the Star Wars movies where arrogance was destroying the Jedi Order, well, you get the same thing in the military. You get people who are protected, they get arrogant. And because they get arrogant, they start destroying everything. Why? Because they can. That's it. So I have known good lieutenants, but I've only known one West Point lieutenant who was worth a shit. Anyway, going down here, Alan says, check out the, I'm guessing that's supposed to be Smash, long egg stores. Oh, Amish, long store. Amish, not Amash. Long storage eggs over 3 years. Good. They use canola oil, if I remember correctly. They use a certain type of oil they have to dip it in, and they let it dry. And what that does, for those that have no idea what this is, when the egg comes out of the chicken's ass, it's actually wet, and it immediately dries and leaves what's known as the bloom. The bloom is what keeps it from spoiling within a day. Because once you wipe that off, you have to refrigerate it. You don't have a choice. It will go bad very, very quickly. What they do is they basically put another layer or two around it. Because they do that, the egg can't get what it needs to rot. Pure and simple. Demon says it came to existence because some former coworkers and I were excited about Game of Thrones HBO show and decided to design our own fantasy armies as well. I went overboard and made an empire with map. Dude, I have a feeling you're a D&D type of guy, and you would be the one who wants to be the dungeon master the entire time. Because it seems like you want to be the actual narrator of how things go, but you want to not have complete control about how things actually go. I don't know if that makes any sense, but you want to leave a little bit of mystery in there. Which is why all my stories, and I mean all of them, have a twist you don't see coming. Or it's hinted at one point, but you have to wait a long time before it pays off. It's just... Yeah. Okay, so it is Vaughn. Okay, gotcha, Grog. I gotcha. We're all good then. Let me double check here, because for a second, my penmanship is horrible. I thought for a second I put an E when that's an O, and I'm sure you don't want to be called Greg. That would be bad. Let's see. Douglas says, I used to be forced to listen to Hank Williams Sr. and gospel. Well, If you like the high-pitched voice there, it's not so bad. And holy crap. Hold on. Wait a minute. We got a $20 super chat from the Guardian Sage. And he says, if you haven't slipped the Guardian Sage into a story as a passing character, you don't have to name him specifically. Just mention a figure that's wearing a hooded cloak and robes while walking with a jeweled staff. I'll keep that in mind. I'm not going to say you might want to listen close to tonight because yes, is Chris even here? I don't see him in the chat. I keep wanting to tease this to him because he's going to, I swear he's going to be one of those guys who has a smile on his face and his wife's going to be, are you high? Because I can't stop you from smiling. We didn't have sex. Why are you smiling so much? So anyway, thank you, Guardian. And yeah, just, I will keep that in mind as much as I can. And yeah, guys, I don't want spoilers, but it's right here. It's like a crack addict and there's a pipe already sitting there smoking, Anyway, let's see, where was, I don't remember where I was here. As I go back up here. Wow. Okay. A lot. Okay. There's the grog thing. Okay. Guardian Sage also saying, I remember the grog we had at the annual battalion event or battery event. Oh, you were artillery event supposed to have used as fuel for the equipment when we ran out of JP8. Yeah, they don't use mil-spec engines anymore. You used to be able to do that. No joke, for those that haven't seen the old World War II deuce and a halfs, which is 2.5 ton truck or the 5 ton truck, those engines, you could use gasoline, diesel, alcohol, old waste oil. It would all run and it would all go through that thing. It was just an amazing piece of equipment. Why we don't use it anymore? Because it works. Grog also kicks in and says, anything that looks Viking. Okay. I'm a Viking. And was this Kratos? I'm kidding. Yet I didn't actually play the game. I used to just watch my roommate play, and he used to drive him crazy because I kept yelling, "Shields up, God damn it." He didn't realize what I was telling him is when he's been attacked by all sides, use the shield wall to push everybody back and give yourself a little room so you could focus on one person and take him out. And he also says, my people came from the fjords. Actually, every time somebody mentions fjords, I keep thinking of the Survivor Man episode he did up by the fjords. That one almost killed him. No joke. He even said it. There was only 2 times he actually came close to dying, and that was one of them. Ernest saying, see it happen. I don't see it happening again. Okay. Demon says, you can use whatever you want for me. I really don't care, man. I just give to help you out, not for the thank. Well, I still appreciate it. I look at it as thanks and everything too. So, I appreciate the help. Don't get me wrong. I do very much appreciate it. And yeah, I appreciate y'all even being here. We've almost been going for an hour. We're still going fairly strong, at least for this live stream, because I don't really talk about a lot of current events because those will get me flagged. There are certain type of things flying around in the sky right now that if I went on, they'd probably cancel it, or suddenly we start losing connection and suddenly it would be done. I mean, even though we got a big windstorm and I lost power the other day. But yeah. Erica says, we have Scandinavians now? Maybe. Oh, wait, wrong hand. So, one sec. I got to get a drink. Okay. Guard says, oh, yeah, I got Battlefront 2 for 1, And I don't think I've ever had so much fun. Kind of helps to surprise EA left people to maintain the servers. Yeah, this is one of the main things I keep talking about with my nephews because keep asking me, why don't I have a gaming collection? I have 3 gaming consoles. I have the Xbox One, and the 360, and I don't have a lot of games. Unfortunately, I gave a bunch away because I was trying to not become a video game addict. They go, why don't you just download the games? I said, because I don't want to pay for it. And if you download the games and they shut the servers off, like Guard's saying, suddenly it's like you never bought the motherfucker. Why would I pay for something? Somebody can just walk in and take it. That's like saying you can come into my house and take the disc. Bull fucking shit. Let's see. He continues with, in the craziest prize I actually care about is so that they keep them maintained and hacker free. Yep, just like I was talking about. Douglas sits here and says, chickens love Japanese beagles and crickets. Yes, they do. And that's actually something we found out this past year, because the year before we had chickens that we just kind of let out in the yard, and we didn't have much of a problem with the Japanese beetles. This past summer, they were fucking everywhere. And I mean everywhere. And it was so bad that I had to go out there on the fruit trees and spray them down 4 times a day just to get the Japanese beetles to stop eating all the leaves. They love cherries. Holy shit, do they love cherry trees, especially the young cherry trees. One of them, we almost lost it. It was bad. But the kicker is, you can't just step on the beetles and hand it to a chicken. If it's not moving, they won't eat it. Kind of like fish when I threw the crickets and grasshoppers in for them. If it didn't fidget a little bit, they wouldn't eat it. But yeah, you are absolutely right, Doug. They love that stuff, and it's a great way of taking care of a lot of your issues. As far as insects go. Guardian Sage said, you must have had a terrible school. It wasn't horrible. It just fell into that mentality. And it's like I said, you can have a great unit and have horrible mentality of like the leadership, and then the unit goes to shit. The public school that was in, they didn't really care as long as you passed the test. I passed the test just fine, so they really didn't give a shit. Plus, back then, they gave us the Swish program. I found out that's pure fluoride. They were dosing us. And they're lucky I don't go in there and sue their asses. He continues with, my public school actually tried to encourage natural talent, good, while also teaching you a variety of additional skills to help expand your repertoire. See, public schools around here don't do that. They're run by the unions. That's all they care about. Once everything became standardized, well, just like everything else that becomes standardized, you're starting to sing the song. You know, the old Army song, the original Army song, right? You know, FUCKEDAGAIN, you're fucked again. Fucked again. We're fucked again. We're fucked again. Yeah. And for some reason, this thing jumped. Hold on a second. Oh, it didn't jump that far. Let's see. Guard jumps in and says, I stopped buying from Tractor. Oh, he stopped buying from Tractor Supply due to the fact they were getting their food from the Middle East. So that's why they stopped. And it was just covered in mites that actually killed several of my birds. No shit. Wow. I'm glad I stopped buying any food from there, with the exception of the Flock Party stuff, because I can buy the same thing of that everywhere. That comes from only one place. I know where that's done, and it's not full of mites. Yeah, by the way, the birds love that. It's just, I'm sure you know what it is. It's just dry grubs. Throw that in there and watch your birds go nuts. Every Sunday, my birds get a complete cup full of that, and they'll actually hurt each other trying to get it all. But I make sure I get it spread around. See, Ernest says, my grandmother kept her chicken pens covered. Yep, probably for that reason. And I've got netting sitting maybe 10 feet to my left right now. And I'm reading, it says plant and pond protective net. That's what we cover our chickens with. And the hawks will be sitting on a perch 20 feet away, looking down, going, shit, because they can see enough of that net where they won't go through it. Now, don't think that a few people can. They say this. You can just run a couple wires across and it'll make the hawks not go in. That's a line of bullshit. It doesn't fly. No pun intended. The hawks will go. We tried that. It was a complete disaster. The hawks just went straight through, picked off a couple birds, and then we didn't get eggs for like 2 weeks. It was crazy. But if you have raptors around, you got to keep your chickens completely encapsulated. We had, what was it, 2 years ago in the summer, we had a raccoon kept going in there and causing it wouldn't get at the birds because there were so many birds that when it went for one, it got clawed by another one. But I just happened to catch it in there, and we redesignated the raccoon from a furry four-legged critter to a pencil because I filled it full of that much lead. I kept going until I almost ran out of ammunition. And everybody thought World War III had started out there. What the hell's going on? Kill a raccoon. Oh, is it dead? Well, that's what it means when I kill it. But yeah, actually, we found out that it was trying to get out because the only way out was behind me, but I was actually trying to block the chickens. I was trying to protect them. So yeah, it is what it is. I don't like killing anything when I'm not going to eat it, but I mean, you got to protect your food supply. Speaking of which, this is the one thing I asked my dad about this about 2 years ago when food prices weren't so bad. I was like, if things go totally to shit and you have your garden and your food, that is your livelihood that's in there. That is the only thing you're going to have to eat. Would you shoot somebody over a tomato? That was the question. Would you shoot somebody over a tomato? If life is good, of course the answer is going to be no. But if that's your survival right there, you bet your ass you're squeezing the trigger. You're not going to feel good about it for months, maybe years, maybe ever. But that's the question. Would you shoot somebody over a tomato? So food for thought, no pun intended. Guard says, like I went through 4 bags of, diatomaceous earth. Hold that thought, Guard, because we got a, oh shit, I didn't even see that demon with a $3. Let me write that in there. And we got $10 super chat from Brian. Brian is here. Welcome, Brian. And let me write these down. And he says, thank you for the stories. How hammered were you last Thursday? Hammered, not so much. Sick, absolutely, because my body turns out can't handle scotch. I don't know why. Normally, guys, I'll let you in on a little secret. I become a sleepy drunk. If I drink a lot, I pass out, which is why I usually don't drink around other people because I don't want them coming in with a marker and start drawing stuff on my face. People still do that, and people have got their ass kicked for it. Or you actually wake up, it's like, dude, you like that penis? What? You go to the bathroom, you see one somewhere on your face, and you open that door, and they're like, it's funny. Ain't so funny when they're freaking spitting blood. And you hold them down and start beating the crap out of them because that's indelible ink. That shit don't come off. But me, I usually just pass out. And no, as soon as the stream was over, maybe half an hour later, I'm just seeing everything I have for the past 2 days. It was not fun. The next day I had a little dehydration because I couldn't keep anything down. It just kind of forced everything back up like a really bad like stomach bug or something. You notice this ain't scotch. And no, it's not vodka either. Vodka just doesn't affect me. I could drink a whole handle of vodka and it won't affect me. But anyway, oh, I see Demon must be going back. He actually, with his super sticker, says, I'll be back. And thank you again, Brian, Demon, and everybody else. I very, very much appreciate it. And let me get back to where I was, or at least close to it. And wow, you guys have been crazy in the chats here. Let's see. Wow, I don't know if I'm going to scroll that far up. Let's see. Pens covered, blah, 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 blah. Let's see, Grog. Oh, he sends something to Ava there. Demon says, I don't have anything nice to say about England right now. And if I get started, I'm sure I'll get into trouble, so I won't go there. Actually, you would get me in trouble. I don't know if you know, but they are trying to actually export people via crimes from this side of the pond back to the UK to face criminal actions for talking up against their government. Apparently, that's a crime now because apparently thought police are a thing over there. And can they hear what my thoughts are? Are the cops at my door yet? Apparently, they can't hear my thoughts because they wouldn't like them. Just like Garibaldi there on Babylon 5 went to Bester, and Bester kind of turned and says, not physiologically possible, but very colorful. Yeah. Let's see. Ernest says, don't forget the camel spider. Those things, they're not as dangerous to us as people claim they are. I mean, apparently they hurt when they bite you, but it's just the creep factor on those things. Just beyond creepy. Just like supposedly in the middle of the Congo or some shit, there's supposed to be a spider if you spread the legs, it's like 20 some odd feet wide. And that one's actually is dangerous to people. The locals say it's there. There's no official video or photography of it, but still, the idea of something like that is enough to make you go, you know, like the end of Ace Ventura when he puts the bat back in the cage. He's like, yeah. Douglas was saying, like Animal Police Academy in regards to the gas chamber. Yeah, just straight through. No issues, no worries. Let's see. Okay, you guys are talking about something else in there. Guards up here saying, I won't give you a reach around. Now that's a good one. Yeah. Grog saying, Sin, Rangers are supposed to teach. Sorry you had to deal with idiot rejects. Okay, I'm guessing you're actually in Ranger Bat. Anybody who is Ranger qualified, if you stay in Ranger Battalion, I got no issues with you. I just have the issue with ones coming to the unit, and the first thing they do is when you tell them to do something. Well, you know, in Ranger school, they said, just start pushing, asshole. I don't want to freaking hear it. I'm putting the standard out. This is the standard we go by. But we scroll the road. How many moving parts are that? A lot. Yeah, no shit. I got an easier way to do it. That's like 20 or 30 times faster. Okay, we're going to do it this way. What was funny is when I did that, I actually said that to an LT of mine who was Ranger qualified. And guess what? So was the platoon sergeant. And they go, you better prove it. I was like, challenge accepted. I grabbed my squad. We had just practiced it. I said, linear danger area, here we go. And we're going to go across the street. And it was an actual street that we did this. We had our entire squad across the street in under 90 seconds, safely, by the standard. And they're like, holy crap, that was quick. Now, and they're like, okay, now do the same thing, scroll the road. It took them 3 times longer. I'm like, have I made my point yet? Now, don't get me wrong, Rangers, you guys got your qualities. I hate to say it, but just keep Rangers and Ranger Bat. What's so hard about that? And honestly, when I talk about Ranger School, and by the way, I have some issues with Ranger School. That is not a reflection on Ranger Bat, okay? And I want to make that perfectly clear. A lot of Rangers, as soon as you say the word Ranger, they take everything personal. Please don't do that. Because you can talk shit about some of the infantry things that I've done, and I'm going to be like, that's interesting. I should learn from that. I'm not going to take it personal. Why the hell would I take it personal? I need to learn to be better at myself. But Ranger School, for those that don't know, has a major issue. And that is the fact that Ranger School is not paid for by Big Army. It is not paid for by the Rangers. It is paid by the people who send their people down there. And because people want to get everybody Ranger qualified, shocker, there goes most of our training events and half our friggin' ammo budget. So thank you for destroying our training. I appreciate that. And again, that's strictly the schoolhouse. That is not Rangers in general. So Demon jumps in here and says, I'm a world builder, not a storyteller. Those are more or less the same things. You know, most of my stories are not dialogue heavy. Things like flying bricks or ambush predators, those are character driven. But most of mine are world building too. There's very few that have like actual named characters that you would follow the entire time. Or if I do use them, it's ambiguous or slightly ambiguous in the names. So it appears to me that you actually do have a talent for it, Demon. But you know, it's something that needs to be refined. Okay. He continues with, and don't ask me for names that will not stop me in my tracks for a long time. Okay. And that's where everybody was saying hi to Brian. Grog says, best unit drink was 2DA diesel fuel. My God, that stuff would have you dragging if it in the dirt. Yeah. No. I had my fill of crazy drinks when I was like doing rippets back to back when I was in Iraq. And if you don't know about that, basically take a full can of Monster, condense it down to a can half its size, and then make it about 3 times as strong. That's a rippet. It actually got so bad it was frying people's kidneys. Thankfully, I'm not one of them. Douglas says, the school I went to discouraged guys from learning real world skills like cooking and sewing like a foster family discouraged. Oh, yeah, you got double donged on that one, Doug. You really did. I didn't learn how to cook until I was fully learn how to cook until I was on my own. The only thing I knew about cooking was sitting there watching because I wasn't allowed to learn how to cook either. Sewing, I can do. I'm still not very good at it because I only found like one other person willing to teach me, and they gave me a grand total of 1 lesson. Okay. Guardian Sage says, the reason I mentioned Guardian Sage's clothes is that he hasn't really changed his style of dress since ancient times. Just imagine how weird it would be to see a guy walk past dressed like that today. Nowadays, Guardian, come on. I've seen weirder shit at Costco, which, by the way, is going the way of Sears. They are totally dying. And they chose that path. And unfortunately, as soon as a couple of cards are paid off, I know several people who are getting rid of their Costco memberships because they don't even want to go there. It's not a fun trip anymore. Douglas also says, I got to put a foster name because I am part Native American when my family broke apart. Okay. That sucks. It really always sucks when family breaks apart. Guardian Sage adds to his stuff. He says, or how much weirder would it be in an advanced interstellar civilization? Well, that would depend on the civilization because that might be the current style. I mean, let's face it. For a while, pantaloons came back. Come on. Only for a little while, mainly during the disco period, but still, it was there. Demon says, well, I have to leave for work now, unfortunately. Have a good night. Night and day, everybody. Can't wait for the new stories and next week's live stream. See ya, stuff. See ya, Demon. See ya. Says Douglas says, Grog, my family goes back to the year 874 in reference to the Cormac. Okay, you guys got me lost there. Cormac saga? I'd be a little lost. Deathbed says Tractor Supply is owned by BlackRock. Well, that explains the whole DEI debacle they had last year with all the streamers and stuff like that. They got in trouble. I hesitate to go back to Tractor Supply unless I'm stuck. Just like Walmart, I don't shop there either. Grog continues, Douglas, the most notable in the family line is Benjamin Vaughn, city in Canada named after him. That's interesting. Guardian, anything under $5 doesn't pop a notification up on the top. Yeah, I noticed that. Demon, your stuff. Oh, that's right. He's gone. But the $3 that Demon dropped didn't actually show up. I was that. Yeah. That's weird. That's really weird. I didn't know that. Huh. Grog said if it's clear, should be sipping whiskey. Yeah, no. Any whiskey that's that clear, would be corn whiskey, as in gut rot, as in moonshine, as in I would be praying for death. I still remember we were at a gun club when I was a kid, and some other kid, I don't know, maybe 7, 8 years old, thought it'd be funny to grab one of the jugs, and the jugs was only about this tall, but the guy had made moonshine the old-fashioned way, and it was perfectly clean. There was no lead in it or anything like that. Kid grabbed the bottle, went like this, dropped it down. His eyes got like this damn big. He turned absolutely red, and I just see him. Boom. He's on the ground. And I'm just like, what the? I'm a kid. I'm like, what the hell's going on? All the parents are freaking out and laughing at the same time. They go out there. They make sure the kid pukes his brains out and stuff like that. He comes back in. How you feeling? Oh, leave me alone. At the time, I was worried. Now I laugh. See, Guard says, the moment Tractor Supply moves their asses into Mexico, Trump's hitting them a 35% tariff. Well, they should hit them anyway with the quality of stuff they're selling. It's going to shit, really. I actually have to pay extra for hydraulic fluid for the excavator out back just because if I go to stuff and get stuff at Tractor Supply, it's so goddamn thin, I worry that if it's going to work at all. You're right, Guard. Something ain't right. He says, my comments aren't really sending. I made up one about UK pulling that whole stunt, and the comment never sent. Really? Yeah, I didn't see it. Let's see. Grog says, Sin, did my time in Bataan, Charlie Company 2nd Platoon, went to 5th SF, and 160. Wow, you're in SOAR? Before the Delta selection and assignment. Dude, that is fucking awesome. That is great. I went to SFAS myself. I tried to go, well, I asked about Delta selection, see if they, what that entailed, and they said, well, we'll find you. I was like, okay. I never got to deal with SOAR much. They were in Iraq once when I was there. Really cool guys. Man, they'll go in anywhere. They will go anywhere, I swear. But yeah, as far as the rest of that, yeah, I wouldn't talk about that, dude. I don't think you're supposed to talk about that. But yeah, special operations aerial reconnaissance. That's yeah. The closest I worked with anybody with SF is I was around 10th group over there in Colorado, and I went through SFAS, and the guys in 10th group treated all of us like we were lower than dirt. No joke. I actually I asked them, what would I need to get for you to train my guys for a whole afternoon or a whole day? They said, well, we need fire hose. I was like, what? Fire hose. Yeah, we're going to use it for blowing doors. It works just as good as a water impulse charge, but it doesn't weigh anything. I'm like, okay, I'll see what I can do. About 3 months later, I got it in the trunk of my car. I knock on the door. Of course, you got to get buzzed in. You can't just walk into their company building. And I said, so can I talk to, and I pulled out my notebook and I called them by name. It's like, I got the fire hose. Let's set up a date. He goes, oh, bring it in and give it to us. We'll call you. I said, I'm not falling for that bullshit. Let's set up some time and you can put your name on it too, because I don't want to be taken advantage of. We're going back and forth. Eventually, I'm about to leave. He wants the fucking hose real bad. He calls Sergeant Major. Sergeant Major orders me to relinquish something I purchased, which is now my own personal property. I'm like, Sergeant Major, you can't force me to surrender my own property. And unless I'm under arrest, you can't keep me here. He's like, I can say that you're getting smoked for the rest of the day. It's like, actually, no, you can't, because officially you're not here. Boy, he got the biggest grin on his face when I said that, because I don't know what it is about some of these guys. And Grog, you know what I'm talking about. You like it when somebody shows their smarts. It's like, oh, you got me, but damn it, that was good. Let's see. Oh, he continues with, thank the gods I retired in 05 and do the contractor thing now. Okay, so me talking about the Rangers wasn't going to piss you off, and talking about 10th group ain't going to piss you off either. Yeah, oh, by the way, the fire hose, I burned it. I actually did burn it down to ashes. Cut the metal ends off and actually drove over the SF guys and dropped the metal pieces right in front of the door, walked off. I don't know if they ever, or whoever found it, what they said about it, but I never heard anything about it after that. I was like, you guys want to deal me dirty? Then freaking suck it. Okay, Demon says, speaking of outfits, have you ever heard of the people in Walmart? Yeah, I also seen the guys in Costco, the actual guys in dresses. Yeah, no. He also says sitting at a red light. Okay. Douglas says, my family name came from a city in England with the same name, a Viking who was about 7'4" and had a hair lip. Well, I can't remember any Vikings actually getting that tall. I know they were pretty big guys. But that also was a genetic trait from when they did their whole army of mercenaries over in the Northern Europe. And they took all the hottest women and all the tallest women they could find, because they wanted their kids to be tall. And that's why a lot of the Scandinavians are very tall, very blonde, very blue-eyed, and usually very attractive. Not always, but usually. But let's see. Brian Kent, moonshine, good, yeah. I can deal with modern or homemade moonshine, at least 1 or 2 sips over the night, but woo, I'm seeing colors. Let's see. Grog saying, praying for death. Started drinking corn liquor 40 years ago. I go through about a jar a month. Well, to each their own on that. The thing is, guys, when it comes to drinking, after about my second tour, I kind of lost my taste for it. You're talking to a guy who used to have 2 beers before PT. I'd even have a beer in the shower while after PT, right before breakfast. I was a heavy drinker. I went through some shit, and I went a year and a half without touching a drop, and I kind of don't want to anymore. Plus, when I drink, I have a lot of trouble sleeping. A lot of trouble. Guardian says, did you see my comment about what you should post around your property as far as the soil? Yep, I saw that. Lenin says, I'm on a small break right now. Just want to say that I watched some Chinese fantasy movies with 2 snake women and a fox kitsune. You might want to tell War Sniper. MTF political, but funny. Yeah. Let's see. Grog also says, Sin, it's not like the government doesn't already know where I am and not giving a day. No, it's how do I put this? You've probably got the same briefings enough times where they said, by the way, this didn't happen. I actually had to sign NDAs because, me being the infantry guy, they just kind of grabbed us up. It's like, yeah, we need this platoon right now. You're coming with us. Then we come back, and before we even get to the flight line, they're like, here, either here, sign this, or by the way, this didn't happen. I'm like, okay. Did what happen? Or my favorite was one of the other guy goes, oh, I'll forget what happened as long as you help us fill back up, because we're almost empty. And we were almost at the fuel point anyway. I'm sure, Grog, you've had missions like that. You just kind of, hey, come here. It's okay. The one guys I didn't like working with, I don't know about you, but I didn't like working with the mercenaries. And that's not a shot on all mercenaries. The ones I had to work with, were just, I don't know. There was something about them that just drove us absolutely nuts, mainly because they wanted us to like walk through a minefield. That wasn't fun. We told them to go pound sand when we found out it was a minefield that we were about to walk across. Stupid things like that. We told them like there's these artillery pieces that are literally cut into small little bitty pieces. We still had to go out there and take multiple pictures and video to prove to them those things were not going to be able to be repaired. It got so bad we actually had to take them with us with incineraries and drop them down what was left of the barrels and go, are you good now? Because we're tired of hearing you. Hopefully, Grog, you're in a better group than the ones I had to deal with, because those guys just drove me crazy. Let's see, Leon says, the fox and Sunnis, 1,000 years of cultivation. Well, hopefully that does make them wrinkly or a wrinkly tail. Let's see. Grog says, after my third deployment, we'd give each other IVs to sober up for PT. Dextrose and ringer lactates. Oh, yeah, I remember that. Seeing half the platoon sitting there going, oh, Doc, hold on, give me the bag. I'm going to sit on it. As you're trying to get all the fluids into your system. Yeah, that was, yeah, I remember those days. And yeah, not smart. Anyways, Douglas says, Grog, they monitor my email and chat every day because I went to LED or IED school twice. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Doug. Used to have the cookbook for a long time before it was destroyed in a flood, just like all my slug throwers were lost in a tragic boating accident in the middle of the Atlantic or over the Marianas Trench in the Pacific or something. Just yeah. By the way, you got to be careful on any of those cookbooks. A lot of the newer versions, anything that's newer than about 20 or 30 years old, are actually set up wrong. I talked to a couple engineers and they told about that, and they said if you try to make things the way they showed you, it's going to literally explode in your face, and you won't have a face or a head or a torso for that matter. So I hope you have an extremely old version so it doesn't actually go kablooey right in your nose. Oh, the sir is here. Hey, sir, how you doing? Everybody's been hoping that you're here and that you're doing good. And oh, the sir even sent a $20 super sticker. Let me write this down, sir. I hope you're feeling good, sir. Yeah. We're all raising a glass to your health. Because like my glass says, you're a bad motherfucker. Okay, up here. Sorry, this thing's moving on me. Grog sitting there going, what mission? No clue what you're talking about. Funniest thing, we were issued Ruger MK5 with integral suppressor, non-numbered. Armory flipped when they tried to return them. Yeah. I'm sure the armor flipped out. It's like, dude, this isn't even on my, what the hell are you doing? As somebody who actually did the arms room for a couple of months, I can tell you if it's not on the paperwork, it's a giant pain in the ass. So before you return, as for me, it was a big black binder, the one, those ones that sit really high. And I said, I'm going to get the black book. If it's in my black book, I want it back. If it's not in the black book, I don't even want to hear about it. That sounds like that's what you had to deal with. Guard, I think I missed something that you said before, because all I see is, I thought I broke their jaw. Doug says about 40. Okay. So you're probably safe then. Well, safe as you're going to be using those type of recipes. So yeah. And yeah, how's it going, sir, from guard? And looks like we're getting to the bottom of the chats really fast here because everybody's just giving well wishes to sir because, well, let's face it, why wouldn't we? And let's see here. Douglas also says, I also in the oil field was taught how to set charges and how to wire everything. Yeah, I got a few of those classes too. You're probably a hell of a lot better at it than I am, though. I got the basics of basics of basics of basics with that stuff. Can I get it to work? Yeah, but it's going to be sloppy. Really, really sloppy. Sir is hanging in there, but he don't feel that great. Let's see. Grog says, "You got to have the paperwork." And you responded, "We freaking signed him out." And he didn't say freaking. I guarantee that. Yeah, that's like when we had the Mossberg 500s over in Iraq. I went to turn those in. It's like, but you're supposed to hold on to this the whole time. So I don't give a shit. You're the armor. Take this thing and now sign me off. Let's see. Let's see. Guard says, I said one time I had to use a phone book in self-defense against somebody. Ah. Oh, and then you broke his jaw. Well, I think so. People don't realize how dense a phone book actually is. You can really do some damage with that thing. You're really going to go wail on somebody. There you go. There you go, sir. It's, Doug saying that some healers try Isiac. You're gonna have to write that down, sir, because I don't know how to say that one. I wouldn't even know where to get that. Then again, everything is online, so why the hell not? As long as it's not a fancy word for peyote, you ought to be good. Then again, that might help. Who knows? Guard says, like I'm not even joking. That thing had to have weighed 7 pounds. Yeah. Yeah. Especially if it had the white and yellow pages in it. I'm sure you got some distance on them. Wham! Whee! And it's going back. It's deep over right center, and it's gone. So is most of his teeth. Let's see. Lenin says fox and snake women are basically immortal with eternal youth. Yes, according to the Asian lore of those, they are. Now, you won't find the fox woman so much over in Western lore, but you will find snake versions, which usually are eternal, but youth does not always follow. Gorgons are eternally stuck as unattractive, but they don't actually age. But they're usually something that's not exactly nice to look at. Guard even says, you never see an old Lamia or Kitsune. Well, yeah, because that's where your eyes go as you go, boobies, boobies, boobies. Let's face it, your divining rod is pulling you sideways as you're sitting there like, stop, no, stay here. I know they got nice tits. I like the animal ears. Calm down. Fuck. Ah! Let's see. Doug chimes in here. New York phone books used to be used in Helos and Nam as seat armor for pilots. I've heard of that. I've also heard that every single one of the door gunners was issued 2 flak jackets, one to wear and one to fold up and sit on so you don't get your nuts blown off. And I actually got that from guys who were there. War Sniper says, Lamia? Hell no. Konsunis, that's the stuff to get fluff their tails, and we love it. Speaking of animal girls, I'm trying to remember. I believe it was called Reincarnated Demon Lord, whatever. The guy kept calling himself the Demon Lord from the Otherworld Diablo. I don't remember quite the name of the anime, but it's something about pulled in Demon Lord or something, enslaved Demon Lord or some shit like that. Anyway, if you look at the time where he goes to the Adventurers Guild and he's got to actually sign in, what do you see on the other side of the desk as he's doing his registration? A couple of dog girls with size double G friggin' honkers out there, and they're in friggin' tube tops of all things. And I had to laugh because most people didn't quite get it. You're supposed to go, wow, look at those puppies. Think about it. It gets funnier when you realize what's going on. The dog girls, let's just, ha ha ha. So, yeah. Guards here. Oh, God. He was the one that had the white and yellow pages that were being a good 60 red ones at the end. Kind of forgot what they were for. Yeah, I don't even remember. I think they were a bunch of business numbers. You got me. I really don't know. But like I heard a loud crack when I hit him the second time. TBH, the police report was pretty funny though. The police report: robber gets the shit knocked out of him by a local man with a phone book. Well, when necessary, anything's a weapon. Hell, one of my pill bottles here could be used as a weapon if you know how to use it right, which I had to be taught because when I was given something really small and they said, here, try to hurt me with it. I'm like, really? So like, go ahead. I hit him with a rock and he looked at us and goes, are you stupid? And I was like, apparently so, because I don't know what I'm doing. I just happened to be the first one up and he was using me as an example. See, the sir says, if I can, I'll see if I can find the tea, anything that would help. Yeah. Now, all I can say on that one, sir, is if you get, there's another group of veterans here. One of them is a former Green Beret. He runs redonkulous.com. Get a hold of him. Let him know that you're looking for something to fight the cancer off. He has had guys on his own podcast that have gone on very strict diets and taken certain things. What this tea might be one of them for all I know. And guys have actually been able to make their own stage 3 and 4 go into complete remission. I'm not saying it's going to work. I'm just saying it's a possibility. Just look up redonkulous.com and he goes by Terrence Pop. You can actually, I'm pretty sure if I had the ability to pull up the emails right now, I would. But yeah, just let him know and he'll point you in the right direction on that one. I don't have any extra stuff on that personally. I wish I did, but I don't. Vaughn says, Sin, you mentioned knucklehead mercs. Worst ones I did jobs with were the old Blackwater guys with triple canopy. Ugh, couldn't get out of that contract fast enough. Now, oddly enough, that's where I got my pistol certification. I actually went to Blackwater. I could actually pull up well, I can't now. It's over there in my bookshelf under with all the rest of the classes I took, 1059s and all that. But I did actually go and do the pistol and rifle thing and when I was done, I was certified expert pistol. I'm one of the few infantry guys who has expert pistol. Because you usually don't get that unless you're like a senior NCO or something. They don't even let you touch it. I carried one all the time because I was a machine gunner, but that's beside the point. Granted, some of those guys, holy fuck balls, were they good. We did the whole thing where you take like 2 steps back and you fire, and if you miss, you're out, and you keep going back until last person hits a target and the other person doesn't. And it was one dude with the pistol. He must have been 100 meters with a Beretta, and he still hit the damn target. I just remember looking at him when he finally finished, and I just went, "You fucking show off!" But that's a nice way of saying good job without actually saying good job. Okay. Actually, Doug comes in and says the red pages or green pages were local business coupons. There you go. You can still get a phone book. It's just not the whole thing anymore. Guard says, oh, God, I remember that demon anime where the two are surprisingly wholesome, having E-cups. Dear God, when he cut his finger and the blue one looked traumatized at how much blood there was, especially when it sprays out and he's like splashes down in there. And she's like, okay, let's keep going. But still, I dare you to go through that scene, and the moment you see those dog girls, I just want you to say, look at these puppies, and try to keep a straight face. Unless you have practiced like 4 or 5 times keeping your face straight, you cannot do it. You can't do it. I showed somebody that anime, and as soon as that scene comes up, I said, hey, look at those. But he just about spit his beer across the room. Thankfully, he turned his head because he didn't want to spit it on his TV. War Sniper says, yeah, Demon Lord gets summoned, and we're supposed to be a slave to a cat and elf girl with big fun pillows that are damn. And shocker, his ring reflected it back, and the girls become his slaves. Yeah, but he never really treats them that way, thank God. There's actually a few that actually do treat them like shit, and it just gets under my skin so bad. Almost as bad as, I shit you not, there's an anime, a manga that came out, and everyone's like, oh, this is really good, you should look at it. It's like, whatever. Did anybody do a review of it? Say, oh, yeah, here you go. They sent me a link. I'm like, I'll give it 10 minutes. Within 10 minutes, this guy had been reborn a goblin, and he had already forced himself on 2 different women, forcing them to get pregnant for his own benefit. I'm like, oh, hell no. Don't you ever send me this shit ever again. Ever again. Holy fuck. No. Just no. That's just no. That shit don't fly. Not around here. Guard actually continued. He was saying, I do like it though. He actually tried to remove the slavery stuff from them, but even after he did it, they still wanted to be his, even though he can't marry both of them. Why not? It's a medieval. That sort of thing still happened. Demon says, just got to work. I don't want to be here. I'd much rather be with those puppies. Well, for real this time. Gotta go. Good day, good night, all. Well, night, Demon. War Sniper says, I can't marry you. Ally. Makes a harem out of him. Yeah, pretty much. The thing is, there's this weird thing that they do in a lot of these animes where they get the most petite and right on the border of lolly female, and that's the one the guy always goes to, just like the dude who he got powerful by eating monsters because he ran out of food, and the holy water or whatever kept him alive. And the vampire he saved looks like she's 13. I'm like, come on. You got another one there who just loves to get the crap kicked out of her and wants to be degraded, and she wants you to stick something up her. Seriously. And that one's very well built. And let's face it, doing it the way she wants to, she ain't going to get pregnant. So what the hell you doing just screwing the vampire? Screw this one too. Because if you didn't, you screwed up. Let's see. Grog says, for some reason, the PMCs keep trying to recruit me as an instructor. Sorry, I like field work. Hey, I did too. If they had promoted me, I'd still be in. But they didn't want to promote me, so I say fuck them. The thing is, now they're trying to get you because you have more certifications than I do. Don't get me wrong, if I put my uniform on, it's covered in shiny crap. That being said, it's going to be just a matter of time before they come back to me and say, hey, you want to come back in? I'm going to say, hey, you going to promote me, dickhead? And if they say no, I'm going to say, well, then guess what? Lena says, snake woman equals giant snake. Fox woman can be rude, depending on which lore you go by, because if you go by certain ones with these foxy ladies, they'll kill you. They won't just kill you. They will eat you while you're still alive, yet paralyzed. I mean, it's just, they try to, they feed not only off your body, but off your emotions, your fear, your shock, and all this other stuff. It actually seasons the what they're eating. It's almost like that guy from Sin City who made the woman watch as he friggin' ate her hand. It's just Although thankfully the anime ones are just, and League of Legend girl there who's a nine-tailed fox, they did a good job with her. But still, I'll take those if it's not going to actually bite me in a bad way. Guard says, I still find it hilarious that he actually does not want one, but they try to keep coming. But now he's starting to learn. He's starting to lean into it because he realizes it'll make them all happy. Well, usually that's what getting laid does. And they show the fact that the guy's mentality of somebody who's a shut-in because he was treated like crap when he was younger, especially by the women who didn't want him. So, he's got to break that whole mentality. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. However, he's also got the mentality of the fact that over in that part of the world, if you get married to a woman or God help you, you knock one up, you are now responsible for them for the rest of their lives. And your life is literally doing nothing but working your ass off to bring them more money. All it is Spaceballs 2, the search for more money. And if you get done with your job early, you're most likely going to get chewed out by your wife. Why aren't you working more? You should go earn more money. It's not much of a life. It's no wonder the herbivore movement is so big over there. So anyways, Douglas chimes in with, when I was in the oil field, I would go ballistic when somebody would come close with a cell while I was wiring charges. Yeah, I would think so too. Can you hear me now? Grog says, talking about well-endowed females, I started reading Out of Cruel Space on Reddit. Now, I'm not on Reddit, and I don't have time to read a lot of stuff. Would be nice if I did. But there you go, folks. If you want to read about well-endowed women, Out of Cruel Space on Reddit. Write that down. Let's hope it's a decent storyline. And it's not just, I don't know, hentai. See, Guard says, I hated this tank for months, and now I have to... Oh, hold on. I've hated this tank for months, and now that I have it, I understand why people use it. A light tank on cocaine with a light tank destroyer cannon, and the damn thing is armed with a 67mm cannon. Yeah, somebody's playing War Thunder again. As he's talking about the ultimate rat tank, the M18. Pretty much a tiger killer. Well, if you can get behind it and shoot the tiger in the ass. Warsnumber says, I'm playing Pal World, running caves and getting legendary blueprints. I've never heard of that one, dude. Never heard of that one. Let's see. It's a World War II tank destroyer. Me personally, I think the Wildcat was just a really good tank destroyer. Open top, so those guys really hated it in the wintertime, but during any other time of the year, it was great. Let's see. Warsnumber says, I go for the lore that they care for others and let them sleep on the... Okay, I'm reading this wrong. I go for the lore that they care for others and let them sleep on the kitsune, its lap and or tails. I never thought about that. I keep hearing about lap pillows. I never thought a tail pillow. Not, the closest I ever got was when the horse would lay down and I would lay up next to it. When I was younger, the horse didn't like being alone, so sometimes he had to stay down there and sleep next to it. Made it feel better. You just hope it didn't have a bad dream because you do not want to get kicked in the night. The only thing worse than that is when you're sleeping and in full kit and you roll over and that grenade shoves itself right between your pelvis and ribs and you're just like, oh, son of a bitch. You wake, all you hear around you is people laughing because they know exactly what happened. 10 minutes later, it's happening to them, but they at least got a joke about it. You're usually at that point too sore to really laugh. Douglas says, by the way, talking about being monitored, my email was broken into today, really, and it's set up so that even when NSA checks me, I still have to redo passwords when my email is broken into. Oh, fun. That's why I don't write passwords down. A couple things open up for me, but almost all my passwords are written down in different areas. And I have to think, okay, I got to get in here. So my password is over there. And then I got to dig it out. Drives everybody in the family nuts whenever they want to use my computer. Because the only thing one of the few I know by heart is to turn the computer on, but then I got to back everything out. Then they try to get in. It's like, oh, can I watch your YouTube? If you give me 10 minutes. Let's see. Guard says, don't worry, Sin. And the light novel, he does them all. Yes, even the rabbit. Wabbit, you shit nag wabbit. Apparently, that's in the anime now too. He's now turning over and saying, basically, in order of when I met you, I'm gonna start plowing you through like a friggin' acre of wheat field, And let's face it, that rabbit girl, the only thing she wants is to get pregnant. That's the only thing she gives a shit about. She wants to be pregnant. She wants everything leaking out of her for the next 5 minutes. Or if anything, she'd probably like try to hold it in, or she'd stand on her head to make sure all that stuff stayed in. She just wants to be knocked up. Guard continues, to be honest, everything you just said about how things work about marriage, about how things work marriage-wise in those countries is one of the biggest reasons why I don't want to go there. I could see that. Oh, by the way, your next thing, let's see. Oh, it's down here. Okay, he was talking about, and then he talked about something else. Yeah, that's why they keep saying how. Oh yeah, Grog saying that's why we slept sitting. That I ended up doing that a lot, sleeping, sitting up, and kind of hunched over. Just kind of, boy, your back hurts like hell after that. Tell you what, I went to one of those massage places where they actually walk down your back after like a 2-week field. No, yeah, it was about 2-week field problem. I kid you not. As soon as she grabbed those rails, put her feet down on my spine, it was like all your knuckles cracking at the same time. She freaked out. She thought she hurt me. I'm just sitting there going, "Oh, thank God." I gotta see a chiropractor at least once every couple weeks. But yeah, Guard, that's one of the reasons why it makes me hesitant to want to go. I mean, there's the cost aspect, of course, but it's just, yeah. One of the, at least for certain areas, and this is not all Asian countries, but as far as Japanese specific, and this is regional Japanese, by the way. This is not all of them. I kid you not. I was at one of the weddings. Guy married a Japanese woman, and when he was getting very, very lit at his own wedding, and he was like, I can't dance with you right now. I can't stand up without puking. She started saying, well, in that case, I want a divorce. And he just looked at her like, what? Are you kidding me? I got to start paperwork. What the fuck is going on? Now, over in that area where she's from, that's a common thing in an argument to say, I want a divorce. It's common, like, oh, I hate you for that, or something. That's in saying in that tone. For us, it was serious, and she didn't realize that within the next day he actually went and got divorce papers, and she freaked the fuck out. I look over at my girlfriend, who's not even Japanese. She was Korean. She just happened to be related to the folks there. And I was like, is this a normal thing? She goes, oh, yeah, we do it all the time. I was like, we? What? She started to realize how serious it was, and she started speaking in Tagalog. I'm like, I know that's when you lose an argument, you start doing that. Then I reminded her I could understand half of what she said. Let's see. Button says that's I can never pronounce these. Afaratu or something. Let's see. Guard here talking about his online stuff. He says, no, the gun was automatically specifically designed to punch through the front plate of a tiger, and that's why it's called a tiger killer, because as long as the tiger didn't get the first shot off, it died. And now War Thunder has just gave me something on a silver platter, which is a close quarters city map with the M18. I've already got 3 kills. I just hope for your sake you don't end up on one of those videos where these guys are testing full bomber squadron formations. Now, they don't do the best of most of them. I'm going to say this. Most of them don't do a very good job of actually flattening a city. But every once in a while, they get it absolutely perfect. And the game's only been going on about half the time. I'm watching the video. And I'm like, they can't. They're not. The guy does the camera, turns around. Everybody lines up just perfect. And I'm just like, oh, son of a bitch. And then they literally wipe out the entire team, spawn point and all, in one go. And I'm just like, you sons of bitches. If I was on the other team, I would be so mad. And I'll tell you what, it would make me so happy. So happy. If I had the time to fuck with these guys, to be on their Discord, find when they're doing one of these things, and just troll the piss out of them. Just get a P-38 with a whole bunch of 30 caliber freaking cannons and just go straight to the nose of their bomber and just start taking out the front one, because that's the guy who's running the video. And then keep going right through the formation and take the other one behind him, even if I end up as a flaming wreck on the ground, just to troll the piss out of him. Let's see. Doug says, also pray the horse did not rip one while you were sleeping. Yeah, that's true. Although, let's face it, that's the only good joke in the entire first season of The Dragon Prince, which, by the way, I couldn't watch the second one. I got maybe a halfway through the episode, and I just went, life is too short. For those that haven't seen it, don't bother seeing it. It's a shit friggin' series. But you got a brother and sister in front, and they're riding their horses at night, and the guy in the back, the brother, is like, smell that night air. Oh, I think something's wrong with you. She goes, it wasn't the horse. He's like, I gotta be honest, I'm disgusted and a little impressed. And I give the voice actors serious props. They nailed it perfect. But it's the only good joke in the entire series. The rest of it is just garbage. Let's see. Grog says, your back issues are not, your back issues are non-service connected. No, it has nothing to do with 160 pounds you had on your back. Okay, 141, but you get what I'm saying. Let's see. Guard says, proceeds to have Vietnam level flashbacks while getting cracked in his spine by almost everything. No, actually, I wouldn't get Vietnam flashbacks. I'm not that old. That's my dad's war. That's not mine. He also says, no, serious. And my uncle's got back problems, and they said it's not military related, as he proceeds to then write out almost 3 pages of things involving his back getting injured or hit. Yeah. My truck got the ass blown off of it, and we almost flipped ass over tea kettle. If we did, the gunner would have been crushed, guaranteed. But we didn't, and but yeah, my back hurt for days on that. So did my legs. And they wouldn't give me my Purple Heart, even though I earned it. But you know what? Fuck them. Fuck them in the ass with a big rubber dick. Had to wet my whistle there. Whew. But anyway, it looks like we're getting to the bottom, and we've been going for just about 2 hours. And it looks like a few people are starting to peter off here as I see the numbers trickling down slowly. Yep, got a Vietnam. Oh, we got people of all different types. Doug saying, used to have to ride around in vehicles with no suspension. Yeah, me too. Not so fun. Especially when you're young and it's a go-kart. Hitting those bumps and you're just like, oh, my back's already breaking. I'm 9 years old and I can't feel my spine. What the fuck? I'm kidding. Not really. Anyways, since we're pretty much at the end of the chats, folks, I'm gonna call it for the night. Willie's Jeep. I wish I could get a Willie's Jeep, even without suspension. I'd love to have one of those. But anyways, I'm gonna call it here. I appreciate everybody being here. If you haven't on the way out, make sure you give us a thumbs up. And before I go, gotta give your safety brief. If you drink, you don't drive. If you drive, you don't drink. If your buddy wants to drink and drive, beat his motherfucking ass. It's better to explain to the cops that you beat the crap out of your friend than have to explain to his wife that he ain't coming home because he did something stupid. Make sure when your little soldier's going into that bush, he's got to wear his poncho. It gets wet in there. Make sure if you want to spend some time with the really heavy stuff, guess what? Nope, it don't pass the sniff test. It ain't good for you. It ain't good for you. Besides, if you do that without inviting me, I'm going to be pissed. So, also, don't forget, it's still winter, guys, and it's also getting springtime, which means it's going to get warm during the day and then cold at night, which means black ice. Okay, be very, very careful on the roads. We just had over here in this state, we had 2 people within about 300 meters of each other spin out on the black ice within an hour of each other. It's bad. So take care out there, because I want to see you all here next week on Syntax Live. Take care of yourselves all. This is your host, punching out.